Next thing we're going to do is install the y-axis drag chain. So we put the x-axis drag chain over here, right? Keeps the wires nice and organized. We're going to do the same thing for the y-axis, right? Keep it nice, clean, organized looking. So we should have 10 wires coming through. We have 8 wires going all the way to the head, the laser head. We have 2 wires coming from the end stop, right? With a little bit of wiggle room in case we need to move it. And then we have the stepper motor wires. And so the stepper motor wires, on mine anyways, they have a plug on it here. All right. So I'm pretty sure I can reach all the way over to the Arduino with this entire run, but the head will not fit through the drag chain, right? It's a little too thick for that. So if you want, or you don't think yours is long enough, you can always just clip them like back here and solder them together, crimp them, extend them, whatever you want. But make sure that if they're the same wires, bundle them separately, like at the head. So at the head here, put a piece of tape just around this bundle itself, and then put a piece of tape around your huge wire bundle mess here, and then run it through. That way you don't lose track, right? That way you make sure you get to your stepper. Okay. So if you have one of these heads, the only tool you really need is a tack here. So this is a wall tack, right? I'm gonna zoom in, try to show you exactly what I'm doing here. Okay. Oh, hopefully that's close enough. Okay, so what's going on here is there's these little clips. Try to get the light right there. Okay. There's these little clips right here. Okay. Now, if I pry them up, it's going to let the cable out. So I'll show you that here. I'll try to show you that here. So I'm going to get the tack in and just pry it up, right? So now it's slightly pried up. Don't know if you can see that. Give it a slight pry, and the cable just pops right out, right? These cables are easy to tell because they have crimps on the head. So I don't need to like give them some special bundle. Like I can tell the difference between a cable with a crimp on its head and a cable with no crimp on its head, right? So I'm going to do that to all 4 cables here. Okay, try to do it at another angle. And then last one here. Oh, caught on the head. There we go. Okay. In case you want to make your own, like just run really long cables, these are JST connectors. Well, no, this is a DuPont connector that I just pulled off. This is a 2.54 millimeter DuPont connector, 4-pin. The other plugs that like sort of clip in, those are called JST connectors. And there are special ones for the stepper motor side, and then just regular ones to plug into the board. Okay. Uh, I'll try to remember to list those in the parts list, potential parts list, right? Okay. So now I got that. I'm going to zoom back out. All right. Now I need to bundle everything together and tape it all up. So I don't want to grab this, right? This is already connected to the frame. I just need to grab these cables here. So I'm going to pull them somewhat like tight with each other. There's a lot of cables here. Okay. And then where the stepper motor cables end, I'm going to put a piece of tape around it. Sort of in a spiral, starting from the front to back, okay? So spiral here, it's going to be going this way into the drag chain. So I'm going to start it at an angle here, right? A little above where the wires start. Start wrapping it and spiral it back towards this way. Hopefully that makes sense. So you can see that it's spiraling this way, hopefully. Okay. So that's there. Okay, hopefully that holds well. If not, it's pretty tough to get the wires through if you don't pull them all as one single bundle because there's not much space. Okay. And then coming up to the tip here, and the wires aren't all the right length, but that's all right because this is enough to get through. Then we can re-straighten them. Now I've got the purple and gray cables also. Oh, and one of my cables on this thing just came out. That's all right. I'm just going to redo this entire head. Okay. Now I'm going to pull it straight again. And then I got one piece of tape here, all right, with the separate motor ends. And then pulling this all at the same length. And then, of course, these don't line up for some reason. That's all right. So taking my tape, doing a spiral again, away from the front. Trying to get it as tight as I can. The tighter I can get it, the easier it will be to get through the drag chain. It's worth it, the time, to make sure it's straight. Or to make sure it's tight. Okay. Got that all in there. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Sort of squish it together if I can. And then I'm going to cut the head at sort of an angle here. Cut the bundle at sort of an angle. Making a big old mess everywhere. Cool. All right. Next thing I need to do is prep my drag chain. Okay, so remember in the X-axis video how we cut the head up a little bit to mount it? So this part, the bottom part here, I'll zoom in again. This part here actually mounts in to the gantry bracket right there. Okay, those holes should line up perfectly. This is made for the 7x7 drag chain. If you decided to do a different drag chain, these holes might not fit yours. But if you can capture at least one hole, you should be fine. It's just cable. It's not like a huge, mechanical load on this. So what we're gonna do here is this side is fine, right? It's already got the two holes to mount. This side, on the other hand, does not. Now, in the build video, if you paid attention, you should have a slot nut, an M3 slot nut right here. If not, that's all right. You can use a drop nut instead, but I remembered to put the slot nut in here. So we're going to modify this thing similar to how we modified the one for the X-axis. So this time, instead of cutting the bottom piece off, I'm going to cut the top piece off. Okay? And then I'm going to drill through the other plate. Try to get it as centered as I can. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to grab it. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to grab an M3x8 screw here. Put a washer on it. Oh, I guess I should probably load it up first. Load the wire. This one, no, this will be a tougher one. So I'm actually going to split this out of here. Like, you can use a screwdriver if you need, but this one I can just pry out, right? I'm going to mount it to the frame down here. And it's going to go like this. So I got to twist this around that way. That way the drag chain goes like you know, here's the tip of my finger goes like this. Okay. So grab the M3x8 and a driver. Verify you're going the right direction. And screw it in. And it still wiggles around with the M3x8. So I'm going to change mine out to an M3x6. Trying to pull the washer off here. So got an M3x6 now. Gonna do the same thing. Put it on the tool. Put it on the drag chain connector here. Make sure it's going the right way. All right. There we go. Cool. I haven't felt it starting to sort of squish in as I tightened the bottom here. So I know it's on there. It still moves around a little bit, but that's all right. It's on there. Next thing I'm going to do is snap off the other connector. Okay. So this is the one with the 2 holes already in it. I'm going to mount it to this piece here. So since the insides of these are countersunk, I'm going to use countersunk screws. Come through it, and then use a washer and a nut up top. Oh, looks like video just stopped. I'll continue this in the next video here.